afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeff Thomas. How's everyone doing today? Awesome to hear. Glad you're here. Full class, I love it. Today's, I believe it's Wednesday, April 4th. Full class is always a good thing to see. Today we're going to be going over how to properly use a full body harness. We're going to be referencing the Construction Fall Protection Standards in OSHA. That's where you can find those. 1926 503 is where you'd find your training regulations, subpart M in your CFR, or Code of Federal Regulations, to put it simply, or OSHA. Some of the stuff we're going to be covering today is just the general rules and guidelines of how to properly put the harnesses on, how to store them, maintain them, general overlay, I guess. I brought a couple of toys in just to show you for attachments to put on these. Here we have a yo-yo or an SRL, self-retracting lifeline, that can attach to your full body harness. If you're ever in the event of doing scaffolding, this clicks out of the back of your harness on your D-ring once we get into the inspection process. And we have two what they call pelican hooks for 100% tie-off. We just happen to have the storage bag that's in good working order. This is where everything goes when you're done, so that it doesn't get put on the floor to get into whether it's drywall dust, or if you're working on an open slab job, it doesn't get lime from the concrete that eats away at our stitching. So now we are going to go right into an inspection list for your full body harness, starting from the top, working our way down, and then what I will do is show you how to properly put it on and what it should look like as far as we call a snug fit. Starting at the top, we're going to look at your D-rings, make sure that there's no cracks or defects. Take a look at your stitching, make sure your stitching, there's no pop stitches. We really want to emphasize that you don't want to have any blown stitches, because even the smallest one can jeopardize or compromise your harness. And in the event you take a fall, this needs to be able to hold you up. So we don't want to have anything happen to it. As you work your way down, we're going to look to make sure there's no cracks or defects in the chest straps. Your grommets are nice and intact. There's no bent, there's no stitching broken. Your waist belt that has also 2 D-rings. You can run your hand right over these. If you don't have anything that's going to cut your skin, it means there's no defects in that as well. Feels good. So far, so good. Now, an important piece is the D-ring in the back, that makes your connection point for all of your possibles for your tie-offs. Now, we want to make sure back here, when you look under, that everything is intact. There's no frays, there's no broken stitches. Make sure that your tag is not red. If you see a red tag, what do you think we do? Laura, that's a great question. We're supposed to tag it out of service and give it back to the company so that they can issue us a new full body harness, one that works properly, that hasn't sustained a fall or any trauma. Now inside here as well, because you cannot put any writing or duct tape or basically any kind of Sharpies or glues, because that will also eat away at your stitching. But what you can do is open this up, and on the inside, you also have your manufacturer's numbers, your dates, serial numbers. This is also where you can write your name, because it's independent. We also, if you can see on the back, that it has a place to put initials and inspection dates. That is very important. Most of your harnesses have a 5 to 7 year shelf life, as long as they are maintained and inspected regularly. Bob, that's a great question. Thank you. Who does the inspections? Well, you have your safety person that's on the job, your senior safety advisor. You also have your competent person, or sometimes is your foreman. If they, have them take a look at it, if your harness is over 5 years of age, and give it a clean bill of health. If they decide that your harness is not up to a clean bill of health, they will replace it for you on the company's dime. That is how it works. So let's put this back together. What I will do now is give you a demonstration. I will put the harness on properly and show you what the proper fit should look like. I always want to be right around the mid-chest or your nipple line. That way, if it does take a fall, it's not going to come up and hit you in the throat. This is one of the better ones that has a waist belt to it. Gives you some support in your lower back. But it also, you can put your tool belt on here if you're working at a height. There it goes. You always want to make sure that these straps go into your side buckles. That way that the extra sits more in behind and doesn't dangle in front and create a hazard for you either. Now if you notice, I can only fit my hand in between. It's very important so that if in the event you do take a fall, when the straps cinch up, they're not going to cut into your body. It's meant as a support for your entire body, which is why it's called a full body harness. It's meant to support from your shoulders all the way down to the thighs where your straps come in. Are there any questions on this? Carla, great question, thank you. If there is there a harness made for women? Coincidentally, there is. The Miller Company, and instead of the generic chest strap, there's actually comes down in two triangles, which separates for the woman's chest and has an attachment point in the middle. I would say your company would be the one that would take care of that for you. At least I would hope so. I'm going to go ahead and take this off and show you how to put it back in the storage bag properly, this way for proper storage and maintenance. Yes, John. Another great question. Now, in the event that when you're putting your harness on, if you didn't discover this in your initial inspection, say we've come up to this point, once you put it on and you run your hand down and get caught up, you realize there's a grommet that's bent and it kind of tore into the stitching. What do? Absolutely. We do take it out of service, and you do need to get a different harness, because that's compromising one part of it. You compromise a piece of your harness, you do have to get rid of it and get issued a new one. That's a great question. Thank you very much. Fairly heavy-duty harness and a very heavy-duty bag to go with it, but it's very important in your maintenance and your general rules and regulations. It's just good work habits to put your harness back in the bag that it came with. That way, when you put it away, it's not getting subject to any of your drywall dust or lime from the concrete. Just good habits. We got a nice carrying handle so that it's very easy to tote around. So, what did we cover today? We covered a checklist for inspections. We also covered maintenance, how to put on and take off a harness properly, putting it away. Now, if everyone's ready, I think we'll head down the shop. Let's get our safety glasses and our hard hats, make sure we have boots on our feet, and we are ready to go. Thank you very much.